Welcome to Trading Lounge and the indices. We'll be looking at the bigger picture for the indices, and we'll also have a look at the tech stocks that had their earnings as well. So with the SPY here on the weekly chart here, so we're looking at wave 3 and 4 here, and we are looking for the 38.2% retracement level, which is down here a little bit further. And there is a possibility, as I've been talking about over the last few days, that we can have a low in at this space on this current low here. So we'll continue to look at that, and this will be the same for the triple Q as well here. So we can look at this in terms of wave 3 to here. So we can see that the 38.2% is actually down a little bit further. Once again, I was looking for a low in this little area here, and that's still a possibility, but obviously with meta platforms being down 18% and Amazon being down and so on, it's not a good look. So we'll probably end up seeing the wave 4 play out as such, but we're going to talk about this in a bit of detail. So if I go from the weekly to the daily here, because when we look at my other charts for these markets, we'll just be looking at the intraday area here. So we've been looking at wave 3 with an ABC for wave 4 here, and we know that 38.2% retracement level is down here a little bit further. So we've got the choice of either moving straight up from this point, or we move up to this current high here, and we have one more swing down at that point for this wave 4, and this will be the same for the SPY as well here, the SPY. So we may need to bring this over to here, but this is what we want to talk about in here today as well. So we want to talk about this and how that's going to be affected, because the tech stocks are one thing, but the banks have held up reasonably well. So yeah, anyway, let's go in and look at the elephant in the room. So the first one up is Meta Platforms. So it's had its earnings report here, so I'm just going to clean that up. So I had this as a possible low in here, and basically looking for a long position above this current high here, but obviously that's not they didn't play out. So we need to look at the bigger picture here again as well. So we'll have to look at this here as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 down to here, then an A wave and a B wave, because we've got a nice 5 wave move up here for this. So an A and a B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think we'll come down to the 380 sort of area for this, and then we'll just see how it stabilizes, and then we'll pick it up from that point. So that's the worst one. And then we have earnings for Amazon here, which has also moved down. Hasn't moved down as much, but once again, we'll need to look at this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, and a B wave, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So this is actually quite interesting, because this is actually in 3 waves. So whatever happens over here, this is all part of a corrective pattern. So once again, we'll just see how it plays out as 1 and 2 here. Don't need that little green man there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And we'll see how that plays out and finishes here. So even once it does finish here, let's just say that it plays out here and we get wave 4 and 5 here. And then we'll still need an impulse wave here to build on in this space here. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. So we'll need to get evidence of a move to the upside. So that's I'm not going to spend too much time on these, but I did want to just look at them. And this is another one here, which is tomorrow. It's 25th today in Australia here. So in the next session here. But there's also a nice case here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to move up. So looking to go long above this move here. And I kind of like Microsoft, because it's really one of the markets that has really deployed their AI through their, they're integrated through their all of their systems. So they're sort of one of the few people that actually have are doing something. So, anyway, maybe maybe this plays out with another move down here. We'll see. And NVDA, so we just want to have a quick look at this. It hasn't really moved, and its earnings are on the 22nd of May anyway. So, but once again, we've got a reasonable case to put as a wave 1 here and an ABC pattern here. I can also count this as corrective here as well. So, but either way, if we go long above this top here, then that will be on the right side of that 800 there. Okay, so back over to we're talking about the SPY here, and we're talking about it being an A and a B and a C down to here, having wave 4 here, and it had moved up here quite nicely, and I can see it as impulse, but I can also see them as corrective as well. So I have to be sort of careful, and it's not like we've had increased volume when this has moved up here, but a lot of cases when you get wave 1 moving up, it does move up on lower volume and then drops quickly. Wave 2 drops quickly. Wave 2 is normally swift and sharp, and that's partly because of the low volume to the top there. But we have to be mindful because we know that the 38.2% retracement level is lower than this, so we'll just see. But we know that the 500 is going to be a little bit sticky for this. So coming back over here to this particular product on the 5,000 here, once again, the move up here can be counted as corrective or impulsive. So we'll look at both sides of that, and the 38.2% is a bit lower here, so that means that we'll need to come over here for this, and the wave 4 1 lesser degree is here, so it does present a target from the wave 4 1 lesser degree to the 38.2%. So this is where it could come to, and it could come in such a way that, let's just assume this is corrective at the moment, so we'd look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, then an ABC pattern, and then down here for this. So it could play out like that, or if it's going to stabilize straight up and all the damage is done, we're going to see an up for 1 and back for 2, and then we're going to see it move higher. So we want to be prepared for both cases here. That's basically the bottom line for this. So when we look at this area here in terms of the intraday, we can move into it like this. So this is the move to the upside here. So in first instance, it can be counted quite easily as an A wave, a B wave to here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and you could probably push 5 waves to here. But it also counts quite nicely as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and there's a little 5 waves in here, another little 5 waves in here, another little 5 waves in here, and then as the 3 and 4 and 5. So there's half a silly chance that that could be wave 1 up here. I mean, all we really need to do, if it's going to be bearish, well then it's going to be bearish, isn't it? If it's going to be bullish, then it's going to take out these highs here, and then we can be long at that point. It's as simple as that. And this particular move down here as the A, the B, and then 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4, 5. So it could just have this back here as a wave 2, finding support on this large number here. So we just need to be prepared for both sides of the market. If this, from the low to the high here, this is the 50-60% retracement level. So if the 5,000 becomes the retested resistance, then we know that we're going to be going down further at that point. It's as simple as that. And the SPY is pretty much the same as well. So the SPY here, and 1 and 2, this is counted a little bit differently, but 1 and 2 here, and all the way up to 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here, and 4 and 5 for 1, an A and a B. And obviously this is market close, but it should drop back into the 5 here. So I just think we need to allow it to do its thing and let the dust settle, and then we'll pick it up from there. And also the NASDAQ, we can go through in the same situation as well. The 38.2% retracement level is down here, so we could end up with a situation where we see something like this here, and then some type of correction here, and then down again. That's the sort of the bigger, worst sort of case scenario with this. But at the same time, we've had this ABC pattern here, which is also viable as well, and on good support in this area here. So this little move up here, let's go in and investigate that here. I'm on the 20k here. This is where we've been looking at it. We've got a long position here, so because there is a door for further downside, I think we need to take this out as break even here at least. So we'll do that. We can go long above this top here. Once again, we could view this as wave 1 with an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and finish here and then push up. So we'll just need to see. I'm not saying that it's going to do that, but if it does do that, then we need to be long at that. We need to start building in long again at that point. This is this pattern here that we're looking at going up is just this pattern here. If you wanted to have a closer look at it, I've got it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third, fourth, fifth for the third, the fourth and the fifth. So there's half a silly chance for that. Of course, we could look at it as an A and a B and a C wave over here and try to work that in and come down here further. What I normally find when things get bearish is reverting back to the trading levels. 17,000 is the closest, largest number in all of this, and then we have 1, 2, 3, which is group 1. So normally if the number 2 becomes the retested resistance, and in this case it's also the 61.8% from the low to the high here, if that becomes the retested resistance, that means that it's highly likely to be pulled down to the 17. If it's going to be pulled down to the 17, then there's going to be a bounce, but there will be further downside at that point. So take that on board. Then we come over to the Russell here, and you know, we're looking at this also as an A and a B and a C wave down here. I was cramming it in here. I don't have 5 waves up here yet, but that's something we were looking for. I could put wave 4 up here, but it's above the 38.2%, but not too bad because big numbers tend to draw the market to itself. So it's likely that we could end up, I'll just copy that and put that there. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 and 3 here. So if we had the 5 waves up here, if we do get another move up here, then we can look to go long at that point. But in the meantime, we're left with 3 waves, and we could end up coming down here, making this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here, roughly speaking, and then an ABC coming back, and then another 5 down at that point. That's the other side to this. So unless we get the 200 as support, then we still will need to look at this as not ready or bearish at this stage. The DAX, the FTSE's made new highs above its previous high here. The DAX here, we also need to be a little bit careful here as well. I mean, I have pushed in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, as you know, and we had a long trade here, but we've got 1 and 2 and then 3, 4, 5 for the third wave and the fourth wave and the fifth wave here. I feel like I'm squeezing this in a little bit, so it would be quite easy to turn this into an ABC pattern here as well, with an A wave here and a B wave here and a C wave up to this point here. We didn't really get to our part profit area through here, so if you wanted to move out of this because you know the rest of the market's not on our side at the moment, then we can do that. But taking the next logical step would be looking for a this here appears to be 1, 2 and then 3, 4 and 5 here for this, and then we should see some sort of ABC here and down for here. We could push up from there. If we're going to do that, we can go long again over here. So I suggest protecting this. You can put it under here, wait for the first low below the level, and then remove it up here. Do you know what I mean? So you get back up at a better price if you're still in this at the moment. So I can squeeze a 5-wave move into here and we can look for the ABC. I can also view it as an A and a B and a C up here, so it's not that sort of useful to us at this particular point. Yeah, we may need to look at this wave 4 being over here for this, and looking at this here as the A and the B wave up here for a bigger move, and coming down, you know, testing these lows and nipping those out. So we'll see. We'll just see how that sort of plays out. Now the FTSE's been doing its own thing here. This is a daily chart for the FTSE. There's a couple of ways I can configure this top area over here. We have made a new high over here. Because of this little early move in through here. It could be labeled differently in here. So the thing is that I don't know if I need to put this wave 3 on the top here or put this wave 3 over here for this. That's one of the things that but as I've mentioned before, that we're not going to be going very far from this 8,000 here anyway. And all of this here, all of this sideways correction could also be configured differently as well. We could have a lot of this as an E wave right up to possibly even this one here, definitely this one, but possibly this one. But anyway, we're not going very far from here. We've got an impulse wave to the upside here. So there's a couple of things that can happen here. We either have a top in and we come down, or this 5 waves up here is going to produce a little ABC pattern here, and then it's going to push up into 3, 4, 5 up here. So both of these are possible. All we need to do is just wait and pick up the pattern for the trade setup at this point. So sorry, I haven't updated this, but this is sort of where we were yesterday. Let me just clean this up here for this, and just plonk that there and there. So we could be in for some sort of ABC pattern over here, or we could go into a bigger bearish picture. Now, what we will do here is that I don't even know if that low's in place yet, but let's assume we get the B wave at some point and then we get this here. Now, what will happen on the bearish side will either hit here and then go down, or on the bullish side, it'll get back above here and we can look to go long above this B wave high here at this point into a third wave at that point. So yeah, so just got to wait and see at this point. I mean, both are valid, but we'll just wait for the evidence and we'll move on the evidence. And the Australian market, we are looking at this in line with the banks, and not only the Australian banks but also the US banks as well. So from this November low here, we can look at BAC here, November low here, counting up as wave 1 and 2 and watching this move up here. This has got its dividend ex-date on the 31st of May, so that's it's quite a way away just yet. I thought that might create this wave 2 back, but that's still fair way off. But yeah, anyway, we're getting an impulse wave up here, so this is kind of why I'm still a little bit bullish, really. I mean, this 5 wave structure here is 1 and 2, and we're in 3 and 4 here at the moment. We still don't have 5, so we're not there yet for this 1 and 2 over here for this. I could put wave 1 over here as another count by the by and look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4 here, but I've got that overlap there, so that's why I haven't done that. And it's left us with a nice clean count of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third, fourth, fifth. So anyway, this, you know, our banks are much the same as this. So if I go to the Commonwealth Bank here and 20 ticks, so just bring this back into, not sure if we're on the daily or 20k here. I don't really update these, so this one here. So yeah, so much the same as the other. So basically the 1, the A and the B and the C for 2 here, and looking at this being wave 1 up here. So what we're looking for here is we're looking for some long trades in these banks. But we're not going to do them yet. So really what we want to do for the Australian market is work out on the intraday basis if we got 5 waves up here. When we got our 5 waves up here, we'll be looking for an ABC pattern, and then we're going to put out some long trades that will be above, you know, above the B wave here. But we don't have that yet. And because of what's going on in the world, it's quite possible for these to drop down and get bigger and uglier. But in the meantime, we'll just continue with our plan here. If the plan and the trade setup unfolds, we'll take it. If it doesn't, we don't take it. It's, you know, we're not going to cry over spilt milk and all the rest of it. We're just looking for trade setups. And if they get triggered, we take them. We're traders, so we do that. And so that's really this ABC pattern here is really comes back into the XJO here as the wave 1 up here with wave 2 here and an A and a B and a C here for this. So we've been looking at this as being wave 1 up in line with the banks as well. Now obviously the wave 2 can obviously pull back down into this space here if the world decides to make a move on that. Okay, so let's just go in and have a bit of a look at this. So we need this to basically hold up at this point. So let's go in and check on this. So this is what I've got so far here. It's not the best 5-wave structure to the upside, but I'm thinking that would end up with something like this here. So we'll just have to wait for this 7650 to play out here again. When I look at this here, it doesn't count very nicely. I've looked at it in different ways, but if I look at it from the cash market side of the situation, where are we? XTO here, so it's going to give me okay. So this is the top 100, the ASX top 100 here. It's on a 5-minute chart, I think. So we've got here, we can clearly see 1 and 2 here, and a nice strong third wave, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So it does make a reasonably nice sort of, I don't know where we're going to put that there, but it's looked like a bit impulsive there, but I'll put it there anyway. So this should drop down here. So basically the top 100, the top 20 has got the same sort of pattern to the upside. I could look at this here as an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That also works as well as being corrective, and it will drop, and we can expect these markets to, you know, pull back to the other ones into the, you know, 50, 60 percent zones there for these. But, you know, I mean, where's the XJO here? This is the same thing here as well. So, you know, I could look at it as an A and a B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the A wave and the B wave don't really have any relationship to the C wave here, you know. So there is a reasonable case for where's the banking sector here? Just have a look at this. Yes, they're all the same. So there is a good case for looking at 5 waves up, but there is just as good as an equal case to look at this as further downside here as well. So we'll just have to see. So if we do get a B wave here somewhere, I mean, we may even drop here first and then do something like this. But yeah, so we'll just see. Once this 7650 here becomes the support, then we can go long on that again. But otherwise, it's quite possible for it to kick down here into the into that 50-60% retracement level here for this. So it's quite possible for this to be viewed as some sort of, you know, little ABC here. It's a bit small for a B wave as well. Do you know what I mean? I'd kind of expect something a little bit bigger than that. You know, I'd expect something like that, you know. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to wait for the dust to settle around the planet, and we'll see how that plays out. I mean, even this down here, is what I've got it as an A and a B and a C, but if we had it as 1, 2, 3 here, and then back for 4 here, this wave 4 here has pulled up 61.8% from the top of this top here to this one here. So, you know, as a wave 4 to pull back up 61.8%, yeah, don't know. So here from this one, it'll probably be 50%. So we could have a small B wave in there, and it could get a bit more complicated, and it could drop down here. So we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. So anyway, we'll let the dust settle, and we'll pick all this back up tomorrow. We'll see what it looks like. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.